the whole body is wholesome. Yani if you are a person who is righteous inside, it will be seen outwardly. It will be seen outwardly. The Prophet ﷺ taught us, أَلَا إِنَّ فِي الْجَسَدِ مُضْغَةً إِذَا صَلَحَتْ صَلَحَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ. If it is pure, the whole body is pure. فَإِذَا فَسَدَتْ فَسَدَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ أَلَا وَهِيَ الْقَلْبُ. If it is corrupt, then the whole body is corrupt. Some of the Ahlul Ilm said the heart is like the general and the limbs are like the foot soldiers. Whatever the heart commands, they carry it out. For this reason, Umar, he used to say concerning people, he used to say, during the time of revelation, people used to be held accountable to revelation. Things would come down, Allah would reveal such and such is like such and such. He says, but revelation has stopped. وَإِنَّمَا نَأْخُذُكُمْ. But we hold you accountable for what you show to us. And whoever displays evil, we will not bring him close. And we will not allow him to be amongst the secure. Even if he says that inwardly he is sound. And he has good intentions. As for the person who shows good, we will bring him close to us and we will make him safe and secure amongst us. This particular practice of the Sahaba, which was expressed by Umar, is something that we need also amongst ourselves when looking at individuals. If someone displays bad character, then you don't want to be with that individual. You don't want to bring him close to you. No matter how he says, my heart is pure. Umar says, no, we never used to deal with the people like that. You want to see those people who are acting according to the deen, those who are concerned about the life to come, and you want to bring them close. The Prophet ﷺ, in an effort to help the Muslims, he used to encourage them to conduct themselves in certain ways. One of the things the Prophet ﷺ used to encourage the Muslims to do is to distinguish themselves. He used to encourage them to distinguish themselves. And this actually is mentioned and pointed out in the Quran. Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, when he comments on the verse in Surah Al-Hadid, أَلَمْ يَحْنِ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَن تَخْشَعَ قُلُوبُهُمْ لِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَمَا نَزَلَ مِنَ الْحَقِّ وَلَا يَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ مِنْ قَبْلُ فَطَالَ عَلَيْهِمُ الْأَمَدُ فَقَسَّتْ قُلُوبُهُمْ وَكَثِيرٌ مِنْهُمْ فَاسِقُونَ. He looks at this verse and he says that Allah mentioned this verse, has it not come time for those who believe that their hearts should feel fear at the remembrance of Allah and what He has revealed of the truth, and that they should not be like those who have been given the book before them, and time passed over them a long time, and their hearts became hardened, and most of them are corrupt. Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, when he deals with this verse, he says, وَلَا يَكُونُ, do not be like, he says, هَذَا النَّهْيُ الْمُطْلَقِ عَنْ مُشَابَهَتِهِمْ. This is the absolute prohibition directed to the Muslims that they should not resemble them. وهو خاص أيضا في النهي عن مشابهتهم في قسوة قلوبهم. And it is specific also in preventing us from resembling them in the hardness of heart. Staying away from having our hearts also hardened. He says, وَقَسْوَةُ الْقُلُوبِ مِنْ ثَمَرَاتِ الْمَعَاصِي. And hardness of heart is a direct consequence of sin. But this particular verse, as Ibn Kathir says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala نهى المؤمنين أن يتشبهوا بهم في شيء من الأمور الفرعية أو الأصلية. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbids the Muslim from resembling them in that which is basic and secondary in their affairs. The Prophet ﷺ in the hadith by Ibn Umar, he said, "Man tashabbaha biqawmin fahuwa minhum." Who resembles the people, he's one of them. Now, when they speak about resembling the people, normally, as the verse refers to, their belief system which goes against Islam, and also the way they conduct themselves and also attire themselves in a way that is specific to them. For example, the Rastafarians, they have a particular hairstyle. You know that that is a Rasta. For a Muslim to go now and to adopt that particular dress code, he comes under this particular narration, whoever resembles or intentionally resembles the people, he's one of them. The Buddhists, they have a certain type of cloth or clothing that they wear. For a Muslim to go and wear that, the Prophet ﷺ actually, when one of his companions wore it, he told him, "La talbasha," do not wear it. This is the garment of the kuffar, don't wear it. It was something that was specific to them. He said, "Ya Rasulullah, what should I do with it?" He said, "Burn it." This person had no intention of resembling them. His intent was not to do that. But because this was something specific to them, the Prophet ﷺ told him, "Don't do it." And one of the things that the Prophet ﷺ teaches us, and this is for our own protection, so that the Muslim will have a unique set of characteristics and value systems, not imitating everybody, every fad that comes out. You know, they came out, and I thought it was insane to think of a Muslim, a male wearing earrings. We have Muslims, they don't just have one, they get two. And I guarantee you, if they start wearing lipstick and fingernail polish, the Muslims will do it too. Because we don't understand that we have a message for mankind. We're supposed to be pace-setters and not imitators. Look at the youth. As soon as the fashion comes in, the sagging, most of the pants is almost all the way down by the knees. That's the waist part of it. And they consider it cool. Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, he mentions, look, when you resemble a people externally, it causes you to have some type of affection for them inside. So much so that you want to be with them. You start to walk like them, talk like them, think like them, until your value system is no longer Islamic. So this particular directive from Allah's Messenger ﷺ is to protect ourselves. And look, not only did the Prophet ﷺ said, no, whoever resembles them is like them or one of them, he pointed out that you should distinguish yourself. You know, I was going with our brother Tahir in Philadelphia, and he says, man, look, man, the Muslims here are so strong that the Kafirs, they got their pants above their ankles imitating the Muslims. And I was going down the street, and sure enough, there goes that homie down there with his pants all the way above his ankles. That's how it is supposed to be. The Muslims are supposed to be pace-setters, not imitators. The youth. The youth. They're the ones, the future, supposed to be carrying this banner. And all they could see, man, is a basketball player as that is his role model. Sometimes they sit down, that's all they talk about. That's their role models. The Prophet ﷺ, look, he said that the Jews, once a lady had a menstrual cycle, they would not eat with her. They would not keep her in the house. So the companions of the Prophet ﷺ said, they came to the Prophet ﷺ and asked him, you know, about this particular affair, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed, يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْمَحِيضِ. He asked you about the lady during the menstrual cycle. قُلْ هُوَ أَذَانٌ فَاعْتَزِلُوا النِّسَاءَ فِي الْمَحِيضِ. It's a hurt. So stay away from them during this time. And so the Prophet ﷺ says, do whatever you like with your wife, except having actual intercourse, relationship. This got to the Jews. And the Jews said, ما يريد هذا الرجل أن يدع من أمرنا شيئا إلا خالفنا فيه. Said that this man, he does not intend to leave any of our affairs alone except that he differs. He distinguishes himself from us. The Jews understood that one of the intents behind the Sharia is that the Muslims should distinguish themselves. They understood that. They saw it in the act of the Prophet ﷺ, and we Muslims are blind to it. This was collected by Muslims. The Prophet ﷺ, he said in this particular narration collected by Ibn Umar, خالق المشركين أحوى الشوارب أوفوا اللحى. Says, be different to the polytheists. Be different to them. Clip the mustache and let your beards grow. Now, this particular narration, which is collected by both Bukhari and Muslim, how do we benefit from this? Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, he says, if a person has a guest, and he tells a person, يعني أكرم ضيفي, أطعمه, honor my guest. Alright? And then he says, feed him. What is intended here is honoring the guest. And feeding is only one of the many ways that you honor the guest. What is intended is honoring your guest. So when Allah's Messenger ﷺ says, distinguish yourself, do such and such, the point that is being brought out here is, look, you should distinguish yourself, and one of the many ways to do so is do such and such, such and such. For this reason, one of the things, one of the intents that we have behind the Sharia is that you distinguish yourself as a Muslim, male, female. That distinction helps you to have a certain type of attitude when you move into society. It helps you to have a certain type of attitude inside. It helps you to move a certain way. The Prophet ﷺ, look, according to Ya'la ibn Shaddad ibn Aus from his father, the Prophet ﷺ said, be different to the Jews. They don't pray in their sandals nor in their other footwear. Be different to them. خالفوهم. Be different to them. Does this mean that you have to come in the masjid with your shoes on? And if you don't have it on, you're going against the sunnah? No, it doesn't mean that. No, it doesn't mean that. You know, some of the people say, man, look, man, the sunnah, the Prophet ﷺ said, pray in your sandals. He prayed with them on and off. Allowed his companions to do so. If you're coming in, it's going to cause the carpet to be destroyed. And you're going to have to be spending money over and over and over again. Then you leave it outside. If you have a wooden floor, concrete floor, and nothing like that is going to happen, mileage, barakallahu people. Brothers and sisters, I mean, this time is my time, right? Right? Okay. So I could deal with the lecture the way I want to deal with it, right? Okay, good. I just want to read one more hadith concerning this area before moving into something else. Because this is important. You know, it's unthinkable, man. Could you imagine a Sahabi walking around looking like a Buddhist monk? Or the children of the Sahaba walking around looking like some type of Hindu? No. But for some reason, as youth, we seem to have lost somewhere what our Risala means. Somewhere we've seen that, look, maybe Allah's deen ain't good enough.